So let's talk about writing emails, and then I'm going to open this thing up and show you a couple of really cool things that'll help. Here's one thing I came to learn recently that I do that I never knew I did. Visual. What does your email look like? What does your subject line look like? That's weird. Let me explain that. When I say visual, I don't mean bolding, italics, underlining, highlighting, and font size. I mean, I do, because those definitely play a role. But visual, and this, you know what's so funny? I learned this when I was a copywriter, and I never realized it went into my emails. If really good copy, sales letter, there's a rhythm that we follow. It's like da 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 da. It's a rhythm that works with your reading. It's short, punchy. It's quick, right? But visually, it's got to be appealing. Now that's interesting. What does that mean? So if you take 3 paragraphs back to back, it sucks. It looks like it's a lot of work, even if they're short paragraphs. But if you take 1 paragraph, 1 short line, 1 line, 2nd paragraph, suddenly twice the number of people are going to read it. Now, I just saw some heads kind of go, trust me, just take my word for it. This is not something I created. This is beyond Dan Kennedy days. This is from this, the best copywriters, they're decades and decades ago. They discovered this when they used to write physical sales letters. So when I say visual, I'm talking about the rhythm you're using. How big are your sentences? So always keep short sentences. Even if you're writing 3 sentences and creating a paragraph, they should be short sentences. Do not write long sentences. You lose people. People click back. They can't lose their train of thought in your sentence. My sentences are always short. Okay? Now, visual on a subject line. This is a very recent discovery of mine. It's like a month ago. I didn't even realize I do this. How many years I've been doing this, I didn't realize I do this. I write a subject line. First, I play with the subject line till I get it to the words I want. Once I have the words I want, I never knew I did this. I rewrite the same words 4 or 5 times, and I visually make it different. Maybe I capitalize different words. Maybe I use an italics. Maybe I use a hyphen at some place. Maybe I break up something with brackets. And I visually look at it. Which one looks the most visually appealing? And that will have some of the biggest increases in your open rates. I found something new earlier this year. I love using brackets. Why? I don't know. It really does increase open rates. And now that everyone's going to be using it, it probably will stop increasing open rates. But look at all your email subject lines. That'll be the only one with brackets there. It catches your eye. It's just different. It just draws you in. See, 50% of the battle is first getting the person to read it. Maybe like 80% of the battle is just get them to read the subject line. Only then are they going to determine whether they want to open it or not. If they don't even read it, they're not going to ever have a chance to make that decision. So, for example, I just had this conversation with Dan like 3 days ago. He wrote a subject line, and it was like, I forgot something. It was, this is not luck, or this is about luck, or something like that. It went out to our personal development list. He had the letter A, just A. And he capitalized the A. And the only thing I had to say about that subject line is that subject line would have been brilliant if the A wasn't capitalized. Now, I'm starting to do this consciously now because I'm trying to teach him. I didn't realize this before. But something like small like that, you know why? Who capitalizes an A in a personal email? If you sent an email to your colleague, friend, parents, spouse, whoever, and you wrote a quick, would you capitalize an A? You would not. So when I capitalize the A, I'm clearly telling your subconscious this is not a personal email, this is a promotion. Hence driving your chances of opening it a lot less. My best subject line in the world is, hey, Anik here. Best, hey, Anik here. You all open it. because you think I just personally emailed you, right? It works. I don't overuse it. I use it sparingly when it's time. One of my other favorite subject lines I love using is, hey, what's wrong? You know, hey, what happened? Dash Anik. I'm talking ridiculous open rates. And it says nothing in the email. So one of the things I was teaching Dan is Dan felt everything should be told in the email. He said, no, I should tell them what's in the email. I gotta be transparent and educate. And I said, man, since when the hell do we do that in marketing and sales? No. I said, the goal is to get them to open the email and then we will tell them what they, so the point of a subject line is not to inform them, it is to drive curiosity. That's it. That's the only purpose of a subject line, curiosity. Curiosity enough to get them to open the email. And then the actual email, we'll talk about and we'll go over. All kinds. There's no right or wrong, all kinds. You can do a direct promotion, 3 sentences with a link. You can do a story long with a link. You guys know that sometimes I'll write a really long email where I have like a story and I talk and talk and talk and talk. My click rates are the exact same as the ones where I sent out 3 lines and a link. So the whole myth and this belief that the shorter the email I write and the more times I paste the link, I'll get higher click-through rates. That is not true. Because when I write a really long story and I get now, the longer you write, the better you better be at writing. So remember that, because if you're not a good email writer, you know, right now, the longer you write, you're giving yourself more opportunities to lose them. So start short and kind of build up. I know I can write a really good story and keep the person intrigued. But the click I get after they've read 6-7 paragraphs worth of content is a whole different kind of click than the one I got after having them read 2 lines. I'm talking about maybe making 3 times the money on the other click. Because the pre-framing of the mind is just completely different. They're going in educated, intrigued, connected, feeling a connection with the author who wrote that, with why they clicked. They had some tingly feelings from the story. It's on an emotional level. We're at a different ballgame. Whereas 3 lines and a click is like the person's like, all right, I'll go check out what this is. I'm just curious. They got no connection with what's coming up. So the conversions will be drastically different. But I do those too. Sometimes I send out very short emails. My usual forte is about middle. I do like 3-4 paragraphs with a couple of lines in between and then the link. And that seems to work consistently the best and it's the easiest. It's the quickest.